Hello! I have finally awoken. I did have a quick nap before the stream, and I almost overslept. Just kind of scary. But I feel well rested. My tongue might be a bit twisted, I don't know if you have noticed. But it should only last for a while before the remains of the sleep paralysis go away. Alright, what did I miss? Hello Alvaro, hello Hunger, hello Shay. Hello Stormy. Proč není povolena čeština? Protože jsem zlý a nemilosrdný diktátor, který se rozhodl mluvit anglicky, aby rozuměl co možná nejvíce lidí. That's basically how Czech works and how it's read. If you think that I speak fast whenever I use English, oh, you haven't heard anything yet. Moje čeština je ta nejlepší, jak už jste kdy viděli, v tomto jazyce jsem teď v podstatě rodilý. Heck yeah. I'll see it. I wanna hear it with my own eyes, that's what I'm trying to say. Before I take you up on that, How's it going, Witchy? Good to see you as always. Although I feel like you're getting a bit too confident to my taste. I feel like you need to be taken down a peg, you know, just to remind you of your mortality. In this chat, in this stream, I am God and you are the peasants struggling to survive. And I need to often remind you of that relationship. You know, some streamers like to use this concept of, what is it called? Let me see. Oh my god, I'm totally blanking out on that. I need to Google it. Parasocial relationship, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, some streamers like to use it, you know, I like to abuse it. Passes away. That's against the rules. Exactly, Alvaro, that's what I was trying to say. Ahoy.
Did you manage to rest?
Not a good English day.
A little.
Yeah, indeed.
You?
Chicos brr.
Still.
That didn't even seem like a language.
That's about the best any of us.
Okay, say it again, slow, and I'll copy it one day. Alright. Bang. That's the saying, right? I swear I wasn't implying anything inappropriate. Calm down, time to riot. Yes, I dare you. I dare you to riot. Give me an excuse. I dare you. Alright, let's do this. So many books.
Perhaps avoiding the church was the wrong decision. Perhaps this is where I need to be right now to help settle my mind and
I'm right.
find that guidance I was looking for. It warms my heart to hear you say that. You are of course welcome and spend as much time as you want to meet. Good morning, Your Eminence.
Well met. It is good to see friendly faces in my church. What brings you here?
Guidance. I have spent far too long avoiding the church and hiding.
Well, you came to the right place, but let me tell you one thing about this place. The church, house of God, a place of worship. It's not really a thing. This whole plane, this whole world is one large house of God. He's there for us every moment of our life. Everywhere you go, everywhere you struggle, you're looking for answers. He is there for you as your silent companion, reminding you that you are here in this plane for a reason. You receive this gift of life, and it is up to you to make the most of it. No one else can tell you what to do. No one else knows what needs to be done, how to live your life. There can be a few suggestions, there can be recommendations, but at the end of the day, if there is one person who needs to find the right answer, it is you. No one else can do that for you.
I firmly believe that God is with me no matter where I travel. But the church holds a special significance for me with my upbringing. Very long story, don't want to go there. Not right now, maybe later.
Of course. Anytime. And I'm glad to hear it. This place is here for you. Anytime you need it. Don't be a stranger. Sister Immaculata is a very good listener, I can attest to that. And I've been known to occasionally accept a few confessions here and there, so if there is ever anything on your mind, you know where to find us.
Thank you.
Well, go ahead, I apologize.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, Your Eminence, if you have a moment, I would catch you up on a thing or two.
But of course, sister.
And Sedona may have some peace here.
Let us go to the chapel.
When you get up, I would like a private word with you. Not right now.
Okay.
I've never been here. I
Oh,
always wondered what it must be like.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't have to go there. It's
Okay.
This will do.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. How long have you known about the prince?
Since yesterday. But I still am not 100% sure. I've only heard. I haven't had a chance to verify.
Don't worry, we've taken care of that. I'm sure that I'll have a report soon. You didn't mention it to me yesterday.
I didn't, because I wasn't sure. It's a big accusation. One that requires substantial evidence. And information like this, if it spreads, could kill someone. I didn't want to
agree.
put that burden on you just yet. It wasn't because I didn't trust you with it. I didn't even trust myself with it. I don't even know what to do with that information if it turns out to be true.
Well, a letter arrived addressed to you with the Vatican seal. Let me just make sure that's the right letter, because I got one too.
You can just throw it on the ground for me. I'll pick it up. How did you find out? Out of curiosity.
Jin. There's a reason that he asked at the door if you had told me everything.
It was none of his business. He wasn't even supposed to be there.
He cares. In the same way that you would lie or put yourself in the line of fire for any of the people that you minister to. He does what he believes is correct for the protection of the people that he serves.
That is what I'm afraid of. Remember what happened to the Grand Custodian. His seekers also believed that they did what they had to. What was right for the people.
Indeed. I cannot promise that either of us can control him when it comes to the witches, to the cursed bloodline. All we can do is do our best to ensure things are verified. And perhaps that letter has a little more information if it's anything like the one I received.
Bishop Benedictus Sanctus, in accordance with the will of His Holiness the Pope, you are hereby ordered to perform the sacrament of marriage between Prince Baylor Underwood and the Princess Sedona upon receipt of this missive. The state of Ravenwood, as reported to us by Sister Immaculata, christened Caterina Borgia, is an embarrassment. We have heard the majority of your reports have been intercepted. I cannot say if the Vatican would have provided substantial aid. Ravenwood contributes so little in tithes to our coffers. But word has reached His Holiness via another source that there are credible suspicions Prince Baylor may be a cursed blood. A detachment of soldiers from the Holy See will arrive in Ravenwood in a week's time. They will assist with defeating the last of the witches you and your government have been unable to eradicate. If Ravenwood is beyond salvation, they will clean up the last of the mess at any cost. Your last chance to secure the future of your kingdom is to ensure its ruler has a successor, whose faith and purity are beyond question. The letter is quite something to read.
Mine was similar, if perhaps a little less pleasant. Maybe read it if you wish.
I feel like I shouldn't read this. It is addressed to you. It is inappropriate.
No. If you wish. But I have no secrets from you.
Very well.
Sedona, however, is royalty. Found that out last night, and she came to me for guidance. She's been keeping it from everyone, including the prince, out of fear that her own family will find her, as she fled from a fairly tumultuous relationship with her family in the kingdom she is from. But Vatican could be on to something here. The prince is clearly fond of her, and she of the prince.
How is it possible that they already know of this and that they are allowing his reign to continue?
As to how they know, cannot say. But allowing the reign, I imagine, is a matter of saving face. I've been trying to warn that the Vatican is not the benevolent force at all times that some people believe it is, even though we answer to it.
Interesting times. Never saw I would witnessed something like this with my own life. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
We may be fortunate, and it will all be rumor.
If what the priest Oath told me is true, then without this poison, or perhaps this remedy to subdue his powers, it may not remain a rumor for much longer. It might. It might actually become a reality that we have to face.
All the more reason to have someone on our side who
I'll
might
vote that.
administer it.
Well,
Worth considering.
one thing is for certain. The thing that some of us were afraid of the most, working with the Cursebloods, will be the least of our concerns.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have a Curseblood who's been in charge of us for all this time. Times are changing, and we have to change with them.
Yes, indeed.
What did Jin think about this? What did he say? What is he planning?
His primary objective is to keep the people safe from the cursed blood. If he sees an action, he may act. But I don't know.
We have a decision to make. Even though the Vatican made the decision for us, we are still bound by laws of Ravenwood.
Indeed.
If the custodian was here, he would see this as a simple matter. All Cursebloods must be detained, judged, and purified. Those are the rules. But we are bound by different rules. We are not just some public servants. We are no bureaucrats. We are the representatives of the church. And we have our seal of approval right here. At least until the soldiers arrive to take over and instill order. What was that?
I don't know. There have been attacks by that assistant messenger, whatever.
Jin?
Oh.
You need to stop doing this.
Hello. It ensures your safety and privacy.
Is everyone safe? Looks like it
I
didn't happen here.
See
Maybe
anyone?
outside of the
Mhm.
walls?
Possibly.
I'm sorry, sister. I did not mean to
Quite alright.
interrupt you. Sedona,
Quite alright.
is everything alright? We heard malevolent whoosh, almost as if some of the Cursebloods were channeling a spell.
And where's the
Not here.
prince?
It's either in the castle or the garden. I did not hear anything up here.
He should not be alone.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he's not, but I'm pretty sure the captain of the guard's with him.
Good. In a moment, I would like to speak with him, inform him about the events that transpired yesterday, and prepare him for what is to come.
Of course.
Sister, is there anything else?
No. I mean, yes, but it can be brought up in front of the prince as well, and Roslyn and Jin and others have information.
Very well. Is that Father Abraham?
Looks like it.
I just saw a ghost running through Ravenwood.
What?
I kid you not, it could barely make it out.
So it was
Interesting.
you who we heard that spell to be channeled against.
Ah, yes, I've been sick for the past couple of days. I only recently started to feel better, I'm not unsure why.
Perhaps you were blessed by the God Almighty to finally be able to stand up and join us in these trying times.
Nope.
Are you safe for now?
I believe so, yes.
Very good.
But I definitely did see something strange run through over there.
Through the gates. Approaching now.
Greetings, Bishop.
Greetings. Are you alone?
Indeed. I come, if only, to maintain the word I gave to you.
What about the others?
They have more important duties to attend to currently. They are trying to protect the land we have taken over against the Queen. I imagine you know of the runes that were placed on Ravenwood a long time ago that have withered away.
Can't say that I do, but
The ones that protected this place from malice,
there is no
such as the Queen.
there is no runes that are necessary to protect us. We are God's children. We have no need for runes. We have our faith. That is our shield.
I do not mean to be rude, Bishop, but from what I've heard, the Queen is to attack today.
Very well. Let us
Let us
waste no
speak
time.
practically.
Unfortunately, you are here sooner than I expected. I didn't have a chance to inform the prince about everything, but perhaps you can be present to this attempt of mine to recap everything that happened yesterday and hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
This shouldn't happen in the middle of town.
It shall. I will not bargain otherwise.
Perhaps you have the courtesy if you walk into my town to allow me to speak with my advisors before a meeting like this would occur.
Good
If
prince,
so, I can step outside.
I apologize. This is my fault. Due to the time constraints and the unfortunate chaotic nature of this development, I never had a chance to prepare a detailed report for you as I wanted. And
It's very simple. If this is to happen as I have been not only moments before informed that it would happen, then you have two choices. You walk out of this city, or you'll be surrounded by my guards inside the city, so I can have a word with my advisor about this madness.
yes, Prince, excellent choice, excellent choice. The safety of the people of Ravenwood is of course the first priority, and as such, we must adhere to every necessary precaution. However, from what I heard, the attack of the Undead Queen is imminent, and if this is our only chance to find a way for her destruction, then we must find courage in our hearts to improvise and to perhaps do something that we find unpleasant. For now, good prince, I know that I am a simple man of faith, a man of cloth, and you are the wise, mighty ruler of Ravenwood. I must ask you to trust me. This might be the final stage of the war against the Cursebloods, and we may not have any other chance, such as this, to deal the final blow to our greatest enemy. If you would allow it, I would tell you everything that happened yesterday. Right here, in front of everyone.
Before you do, Sidonia had something to say.
No, I'm really glad I kept my mouth shut because I was getting ready to let you both have it. I've already gave you my opinion on this whole thing.
In that case, I will keep it as brief as humanly possible. And I will be as honest as God is my witness. I will tell you everything that happened yesterday. When I was supposed to meet with my brother and Isabel, after they left me a note to have a secret meeting. It wasn't the bishop that was supposed to show up for this meeting. It was Benedictus Sanctus, Bryn's brother, who wanted nothing more than to see if his brother is alive and well. I did, and he was alive and well as I prayed for. And so was his soon-to-be wife, no doubt. This opportunity, this meeting, allowed me to finally create another opportunity to talk to Priest Oath as I originally wanted to. There were still some discrepancies, there were still some questions that I have, and I wanted to hear it straight from them. Such was the assassination attempt, and of course, that darn tavern, and how did the Cursed Bloods manage to get away from there. But alas, when I was brought into a dark cave for this secret meeting with Priest Oath, I never had a chance to discuss these matters, for there was something far more important to discuss. What them and I agreed on was that this war against Cursed Bloods, this war that was threatening our people, all this time is heading to its final stage. And right now, we are weak. We are losing this war, and we are suffering heavy casualties. The Iscariot's chosen must be stopped at all cost, and so does this undead queen. The Willowbrook witches, although I personally still find them deceptive, untrustworthy, and dangerous, they have proven one thing, that they are capable of providing important aid, such as healing, such as abilities that we do not possess, to help us defeat our enemy. The reason why we are in this position is because we never had a chance to call upon the armies of Vatican or the surrounding kingdoms. These attempts were halted by the Necromancer. We are in this war alone, but we are not as alone as we thought. There are still those loyal to Ravenwood, those who call this place their home, that are willing to fight for it. And even though our laws would be against this, even though our way of life dictates that we should firmly oppose any of this, even though we have already extended our courtesy once and were betrayed, it is my personal opinion that we have no other choice but to find courage in our hearts to work with our enemy, to defeat a stronger enemy that we wouldn't be able to combat otherwise. Priest Oath, I give you a chance to either confirm or deny this version of events and to fill in any details that I may have left behind in the past.
I believe you have surmised it in the best way you could, Bishop. I will not play tit for tat. There are some accounts in that I would not believe, such as our betrayal of the people here. We were ousted out. I will put it very bluntly.
Wild.
Some of the Willowbrook witches have mentioned we have
Pure
no need
LX.
for the people here. Their magics are the ones that will bind the queen. Their magics are the ones that will stop all of this. Some still have room in their heart for a few left here. But with everything that has gone on, it has become increasingly more difficult. I was made aware this morning that the Queen made a declaration that she would attack Ravenwood today, and it, within the time frame, would be imminent. You have denied our help again and again, despite us continually offering it. I would not see needless death of this queen to all of you. This is the last time I will stand here. I will not come again.
Everyone done? I assume so, since no one wishes to speak up once again.
Perhaps there are people of the town who wish to speak. I fear their voices have not been heard very often.
Please, people, speak. I wish to hear every word. People that have agreeance or disagreeance with this offer.
Yes, I would urge anyone to step forward and speak honestly. There will be no judgment.
With your permission, Your Highness.
Go ahead.
Are we forgetting the fact that apparently Ode, or Ode's people, whomever it is at this point, has tried to kill, or at least attempted to get someone to kill the bishop? Have we forgotten that?
There was never an attempt on the bishop's life.
That's not what Eleanor said.
What I provided to Eleanor, and I still have some of the concoction, it was a...
Hello, Coyote. How you guys doing?
It was a poison, I'll be blunt, but it would not cause you any harm.
Then
It would
why
not
give it
cause
to
you
the bishop?
pain. It would not harm you. But it would confuse those around you.
So, you try to manipulate me.
From every note we have seen, you are one of the largest voices here, though you seem to think otherwise. You are stalwart in your faith. And in that faith it has caused you to stray from the path to get rid of the Queen again and again, which would lead to Ravenwood's doom.
And that gives you the right to poison him.
It was never our intention to stray away from defeating her. However,
No.
many other
but
things
You never...
preoccupied our attention, like survival.
You cannot defeat the Queen without us. How many times must this be stipulated?
Please continue. It's entertaining. Anyone else that wishes to speak aside from this poison that clearly was just proven?
Again, clouded.
Why is it you believe that we need you? Do you have physical proof in books or texts?
We have
To
them in
prove
books,
otherwise.
texts. We have been to the previous places of Willowbrook.
I don't think we
This has been proven
We pitched it
again and
enough.
again.
I think
and
we're losing this.
I believe some of you already know this. People of the townsfolk do. They have seen these, but have not said it for fear of this happening. Of laughter, of defamement, of putting them in a situation where they cannot speak.
Henceforth, I'm letting all my people speak. I wish to hear their opinion.
Oh, let's start with me. A question, Bishop. The first time we tried to work together with them, when you ordered us to help them to revive the memories of Bird Brain,
I never made
You
such
offer-
a request.
you offer yourself on this in front of me.
What memories of Birdbrain do you speak of? I am not aware of anything like that. I do not even
The
know
man.
where that stupid bird is. I haven't seen him in ages.
Didn't we work together to put the memories of Birdbrain, that I can't remember his name for the god? We gone
Caspian.
to Caspian, yes.
That wasn't me. I never made such an order. I do not know who this Caspian is.
It is true we worked together. I did not see you there, Bishop, but people of Ravenwood
was,
came to our assistance.
He wasn't there, but we were asked to help on defending this and being there together with the chosen and everything, and then the queen attacked the place.
I see. Thank you for informing me
did
about this.
When did this working together started, and who started what? Wasn't you, Bishop?
Yes, you are correct in that way. I was indeed the one who spearheaded this initial attempt to work with our enemy, to perhaps defeat a greater enemy.
Thank you for following.
And eventually,
Well,
I acknowledged that it was a mistake. For we were led astray, we were manipulated, and when we showed courtesy, it wasn't returned.
I
We
still do not understand how you were led astray or how we betrayed you. What did
This-
we do?
let me finish,
This
both of you. We expected the Cursebloods of Willowbrook to remain in the town, to be judged, to be interrogated, and to perhaps be executed. We already made our plan, and we made it quite public in the middle of the town. Those were our laws, those were the rules we had to follow.
That was before.
And because of that, I do not hold it against the witches that they tried to escape and eventually managed to do so. If I was in their position, I would have most likely done the same. Unfortunately, this attempt to create some sort of an alliance was doomed from the start. However, that was then. Let us focus on the now and the future. Priest Oath, I did
Allow your
ask
man to
you
speak now.
to bring as many of your kind as possible, to show the prince that you are willing to lay down your weapons, show humility, and your words of trying to protect us, your initiatives to aid us defeat this queen. Well, they are more than just attempts to manipulate us. They are actual acts that we could trust. But you are here alone. You already told me why. Tell it to the rest of the people. Why did you bring alone? And why are you still remaining combative and perhaps even arrogant? Even though you need our help just as much we need yours.
Can we
is your man allowed to
speak now?
Hmm.
Bishop, I don't know the words you speak of. But
That's
you
because those
confuse-
words were not addressed at you. They were addressed at the priest.
Allow your
Let him speak.
citizens
Allow
to
me to speak. Enough of this. You confusing your words, Sir, Your Holiness. The judgment of the witches was before the alliance. After you offer your life to the witches for this alliance. In the end.
That had nothing to do with any kind of alliance. They were here for the Carter. I offered my life to protect Ravenwood. That was a
We
deal
were
with the
never here
Iscariots
for
chosen.
Carter.
No, you may not have, but the Iscariots chosen were. They made it very clear. When they were standing at the gate, demanding his life or they will
You
attack.
are not speaking to the chosen, Bishop. I have attacked them. They have attacked me. They attempted to murder me. You are not speaking to them.
And how was I supposed to know
Make
that?
the
It's not like they're wearing
distinction.
name tags.
It's well established that there's a division between those of Willowbrook and Shadowridge. Even I know that. And I'm not even involved. And yes, I'm
Well.
aware that the priest does not speak for them. So please, let's focus at the task at hand. I wish to know the people's opinion about the potential alliance. That is what I'm not here to listen to a back and forth of those that, oh, you've done this, you've done that. I'm talking about the alliance itself.
Well, on my opinion, we cannot harm that undead witch. We tried. I tried multiple times. I even tried to push her off a fucking cliff. And she didn't die. I believe that we may need them if they bounded before. And the attack on the Princess Lion was a distraction to divide us. That's my opinion.
I'm afraid I have to agree with that.
Do any other citizens have something they wish to add?
If you wish for me, I'll be on the gate seeing if we don't have any surprises.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
I've been listening.
Me too, sorry.
And I...
But it's because all of us have like various perspectives on the matter, and
as
we have
much
partial
as I despise
knowledge
Curse
or
for what
even
happened to
participation
my
of
wife,
some of
I
these events.
despise a necromancer far more. For it was a necromancer that raised my dear wife from her grave after probably killing her in the first place. And from the sounds of it, our
When you all put it
weapons,
together, it
though
turns into
capable,
soup.
are not going to be enough to kill this necromancer. Their magic will be useful, and they will need our weapons to keep other distractions and aids to this necromancer off of her back. Off of the Willowbrook witches' backs, whilst they do the majority of the
Yeah, but that's never
damage
gonna
to the
happen, Stormy.
necromancer.
And I can kill them all.
Once the necromancer
I can lock
is
them in a
dead
prison just like I did on
and
DO Season 6.
burned,
People don't like it.
much to
They don't like to be reminded of their place.
all of our belief and to my personal satisfaction.
It's your home, Pop Tarts. It was there for generations. There are like hundreds of people living there.
Then
If you make
we
such
can
a
discuss the
statement,
future
you are
on
no
the
better than the
following day.
freaking necromancer herself.
Be we enemies or allies? That is my opinion, from a purely tactical vantage point. I will, of course,
What's your
defer
goal?
to the prince's decision.
Hey parents, I moved away. Now all die in a fire because I no longer need you. That's not how life works.
Anyone else?
Where are you gonna get your money?
Want to know, did I agree with the captain on this?
For your witchcrafting, huh?
Queen and messenger multiple times. And we have lost multiple times.
And our numbers are dwindling.
And her are rising after our every loss. We may have thought that this matter could be dealt with conventional ways. That perhaps with our faith and courage, we will eventually find a way to overcome her, but that unfortunately no longer holds true.
Archibald, I'm actually very curious about your opinion.
Well, I have a very strong opinion against the Cursed Bloods. It is very apparent.
I like that we're asking everyone else though, because this is
I
their
was here
season, and this is
sending
their
your help
town, and they are the ones who should decide, not just the
on behalf
prince
of my king.
or the freaking bishop.
But the witches of Willowbrook say they want to help time and time again.
Ah yes, preach,
But
brother.
when the city's under attack by the Chosen, where are the Willowbrook witches? That is my real question. They say they help. They say they want to be on our side, but where are they in the time of
It's
real
true, that's
need?
the point I was trying to make. They always keep saying that they are here to help, but they never do. They try to
I may-
poison.
Oh, sorry, priest.
Oh,
go ahead.
Excuse me, not be opposed to such alliance if it is to take down the Queen and perhaps the Chosen. But actions speak louder than words, and I have not seen any action from the Willowbrook witches myself.
God damn it, why am I so fucking hungry?
Ode has acted.
Forgive me, sister.
She's alright. Ode saved Eleanor, Kell, and myself from what could have been certain death,
That is also true.
offering a sacrifice of the battle with the Chosen themselves.
We attempted an alliance.
It's also very true,
initially,
M9. I don't blame
and
them
then
at
it
all
went back to
for being
us
careful.
being put on the pyre if we were to come into the city.
But revolutionary things
How
like
does
this
that
take
give
time,
us
and
opportunity
if you expect everything to
to
change
help you?
immediately without some friction,
The
it's
days
not gonna
that
happen.
we were allowed to come in, we healed your men.
But when things get tough, you kind of have to make
There's another
compromises on
point
both
I wish
sides,
to ask before we can
and that is why
go through
we're here.
everything, but I believe the lady in red had a question.
Oh boy, here we go.
The point of that His Eminence brought up is that he didn't know the difference between you and the Chosen, or rather, not you specifically, but the Willowbrook witches.
I'm glad she's bringing it up.
And unfortunately, I've been having a really good think about things. And what you just admitted about the so-called poison, who's to say that you or any of your people are not working with Shadow Ridge?
Because they wish to kill me. Many have seen that they have attacked me. The
Can you vouch
others,
for the others?
the others do not align with them. I know that to be true. But in a similar fashion, they cannot go openly against them. Many of the Willowbrook witches are healers. They are not combatant.
Just to meet by the priest.
The Chosen
Oh,
are
okay.
merely thugs to them. They
And
cannot
what
fight
about
them.
Kaiman?
The person that stayed within your town and attempted to help and assist and aid and heal and do what he could upon year. The man that was ousted out of his own city. The man that
Hell, Turbo.
continued to vouch for all of you. But then his hope has died because as much as he tries
Bad.
to maintain an alliance, you broke it. The man that is hunted by the Chosen alongside me.
Let's turn them all into stabs. What do you say?
What of him?
The reason I bring this up is because someone who is very trusted here in Ravenwood, very trusted. Alice, I'm sure you know of her. She wrote in her final entry in her diary that she sided and, seemingly from the way she worded it, worked alongside, or at least was trying to, with the Iscariot's Chosen.
I was told she was an informant for them. We did not trust her.
Well, who's to say any of your people, I'm not saying yourself, but who's to say that any of your people
Unsafe
aren't
streets of
telling
Raven. You're right.
information to them? And with you admitting about the poison, it only
We are the
adds
baddies after all.
more and more distrust.
I have been
and
honest.
Forgive me for saying this. My distrust runs deep with witches.
So does mine. And that will probably never change. Not in the course of our lifetime. But that still doesn't change a thing. Changes like this take time. Revolutions don't happen overnight without friction. If we are to see the light of tomorrow, we must accept compromises. And we must find a way to overcome our differences.
Bishop, I apologize for interrupting you, but I have heard this all once before.
And what do you want me to
betrayed
say
us.
then?
You say we betrayed you. I want to know how. Because
did
from
you-
my perspective, from all of our perspectives, we did not betray you.
If I may
What?
interject. Clearly here we have a problem of trust. We have a bigger problem at hand here, and it needs to be addressed immediately. So now maybe we can start anew.
Exactly.
Both of us. Both sides. Perhaps we can throw all of this information away. Right here, right now.
And work with someone who openly admitted to wanting to manipulate the bishop?
Yes,
Not more than a few days ago?
we can put it aside for now, Rosaline. Take care of
No.
it later, perhaps.
No. There is no bending.
Priest
And how
White.
do you suggest that we defeat this queen?
I know you may see us as headstrong, overly proud, perhaps illogical, unfair, and you would be correct. But whether you like it or not, we see you in a similar light. You may claim to be innocent, you may claim to have your just motives, your honorable intentions, but a lot of us have yet to see them. Even though we heard stories of you helping, healing, this distrust between both sides is mutual. And it would take time to mend these bridges. That was what I was trying to say. You need to understand that both of us have deep-rooted issues with the other side. And if we are to overcome them, we need to acknowledge them and we need to move past them. And we need to rely more on actions than just words.
Bishop, I came here on my word.
And if I was the old bishop that I promised to be, you would have already been on a pyre. I know you expect great progress and great results in a short amount of time.
I do not. Please, answer my question, because I do not know if the other Willowbrook witches will be willing to work with you all if you do not answer it truthfully. Why did the alliance break before? We
Because
still
of me.
do not know.
Sister.
I was the one who talked him out of it.
She wasn't alone in this. I had my doubts. The custodian was also firmly against this from the very beginning.
I will... It was on your whims, then. No reasoning, no logic.
What?
You disregarded all our conversations.
And you disregarded what just transpired here. You disregarded all our reasons to distrust you. Whether you like it or not, they are valid to us.
We had
and you need to
entered-
embrace that. And work
Bishop,
with that.
We had entered a civil, if strained, alliance. And the reason you broke it was because you had a change of heart.
The change of heart happened
Not-
for a reason, not on a whim. And you seem to ignore all those reasons.
What did we do?
You broke our trust.
How?
You...
Not slight words. I want something. Not that someone swayed you. Something we did.
You are an inherent threat to the safety of Ravenwood. Our people started leaving their homes in search for safety because they didn't like the fact that we were cooperating with the witches. The witches, we were in war. The witches that were killing their friends, their allies, their family members throughout generations. Many of our lives have been affected by your actions. Perhaps not by you, but by other witches. No matter if it was Willowbrook or Shadowridge. This war has been brewing for a long time.
You have answered my question. There was nothing we did. It was a change of...
May I?
You are so nearsighted.
May I?
Sit down, please, before I lose my shit.
I believe there's a misunderstanding here. I'm taking it... I don't know you, but I'm taking it you are new to the lands. You're a priest that travels and helps every witch, right?
I tempt.
Well, in these lands, there have been many, many years of arguments and disturbances from both sides. The bishop and the prince won't often go into them, but over the years there has been many tragedies, hence why Ravenwood has the laws it has. And while you may not see them now, I'm sure any witch that has been in these lands for long enough is going to know there has always been strife between us. We are trying, they are trying to attempt what is best for the kingdom and for everyone involved. But it's going to require both sides to have patience and a little bit of bend, a little bit of willingness to try. No matter how distasteful, no matter how much you don't like it, if any alliance is going to work at all, and I'm sorry to point out to you, you said that you didn't really need us, that we needed you. I'm afraid, after having fought this witch several times, you will need us. So, in order to take her down, an alliance is going to have to work. If everyone can get on the same page and agree.
I have just found out that all the groundwork that we had laid, everything to create an alliance here, was taken away, not with a discussion with us, but because they decided it, not for something we did, but our mere presence, walking around trying to help others, caused enough friction for them to break the alliance off. You must understand how that looks.
I will point out, you are talking about people that have years of dealing with this under their belts. They have the memories and the horrors that they've had to live through and deal with.
So they took a step forward to take 5 back.
Do you wish to know the reason, since everyone avoids it? I will say it myself. Does the name De Luca mean anything to you?
Not one.
Then you should look closely and talk to your fellow Willowbrook witches. Sophie De Luca, the former Grand Custodian, swept it under the rug. And when Godfrey De Luca, our related, rest his soul, was laid to rest,
Custodian's backstory. God damn it, my
I
stomach.
was reminded of what and why
Tennessee did a great
and what
job
happened in the
explaining
past.
everything.
And only the near poisoning of the bishop has confirmed my decision was right. Because Sophie De Luca was torn from her home and put into the forest to be executed and probably used in some fucked up ritual. That is what the witches have done. And many more events I can tell you. You're speaking to one that has led Ravenwood for a long time now. So if you speak of having done nothing, then you are not speaking to your fellow witches.
I don't think Winter is selling it to us. He's lashing out.
Magic runs through your blood.
Magic runs through my blood? Are you mad?
You have denied it for year upon year.
Magic runs through my blood. Have you seen my balcony? It has 2 set of bones, remains. Of how much I put my devotion against the cursed of blood.
Oh no, this is not gonna go well.
And you think I, myself, would live with myself if I had cursed blood within my veins?
Shouldn't have said that.
You do.
I use a suppressant.
Which
You're
Pilot
Larry.
did as well. You both did.
Oh, so I should just award of it.
You played together all your lives. You were children with one another. And you both had magical blood. And you both chose to suppress it.
You do realize I'm not family of Kaiman. He is the grandchild of Dr. Amala, yes.
I never
but
said
I am
that.
Not.
You were
Then
children
why even
together.
think I was a child, yes, as everyone is, but I never played with him. I was in my room. No. See, this is the entire problem. Everyone goes off words, rumors, and they just believe it. So stop putting things into perspective without talking to me first. No one fucking does nowadays.
Dark is right, to lose his shit here.
You seem to know everything, yet you know nothing. So before you spew out even more lies, then perhaps get the facts first.
God, darling, come on.
It's despicable people even put these rumors out there. I've heard so much over the years.
Here, let me do something for you.
Yet none of it is true. I would follow my own sword if I had that
You're
kind
happy?
of blood within me.
The Queen bears down on Ravenwood today.
Yeah, Dark is doing a great job.
You know this all to be a
this
fact.
season.
I have a suggestion. Before any sort of decision is made, and again, it is a mere suggestion, not that I'm entertaining the fact of working with you all. I am very much against it, myself. But why don't you show us what you know? Show us these texts and books. Go retrieve them, bring them back, and let His Highness read them, so he may be informed properly to the level of knowledge that you all know.
Good suggestion. At least she might walk without losing her life.
To understand why you say we need you.
I do not see why there'd be a problem with this. I believe there should be some texts here already of it.
The sharing of knowledge seems to be a very minimal thing to do since we're talking about actions. If you have knowledge written in scripture, then I will make sure that those of devout mind will read it so they don't get poisoned by it.
Of course. The unfortunate truth is that it may be too late. The continual deniance of our extended hand has brought a timing to an imminent.
Can I ask a question, please?
Please do.
I am new here. Who is we? Does anybody know who we is? I see you there, standing there claiming that people have something against you, but does anybody else know who we is? Do you distinguish between these various witches? Do you know who they are? Is it all just witchcraft? How can you, make an offensive gesture towards someone if you don't know who they are? I don't understand. Who is we?
Much of already savage. Oh yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I assume you're aiming that towards him, or the priest rather.
Yes. The priest was saying before that you broke your previous treaty last time because of something. Now, I don't understand how that decision was made. But were they even aware of who you are versus the other witches that obviously attack regularly?
We had a conversation, the prince and I. We were going to get a distinguishing factor, written notes or embellished pieces of Ravenwood so that you might distinguish us against the chosen. That was all thrown to the wind.
And what is the circumstances of that? How is it thrown to the wind?
These plans were all laid for our alliance to work.
From my understanding, from what I was told previously, is that you were here and then you vanished through the tavern. Is that not your own fault?
This was before the alliance was made.
That was the day the prince offered to let everyone rest and heal for the day, and the next day they would meet and see about forming just such an alliance.
And people spoke of burning them openly in front of them, and they felt frightened.
This is the point that I've been making so many times now. Every time people just twist my fucking words. Sorry, father.
It is alright, my son.
The thing that bothers me the most, I said very clearly that day, there will be a day of recovery, and the next day we will plan our future ahead. And the only thing that was really mentioned was a finding at best. There was never going to be a pyre, and then they decided to leave and flee and squander the opportunity and the chance I gave them to have this alliance of sorts. And then they ran into the Escorts Chosen, and I'm pretty sure that by the reports I was given, you were there. You were aware that they were under siege, if you will, because they decided to squander this chance.
And as I clarified to my brother yesterday, the point of burning the tavern down was to find out how it was used for these disappearances. Since we could not figure it out, the original logical choice would be to burn it down. And since we burned down witches for generations, we might as well use this opportunity.
Your bishop mentioned earlier that he was understanding that our people fled, Prince. Because he mentioned openly that he wished them all burnt.
Is that something new here in Ravenwood? Hasn't that been done?
No, it is not.
Just said what everyone else was thinking.
What you expect when you're in Ravenwood.
But there are words of the prince, and then there were immediate threats of being put on the pyre, and they were frightened. You speak as if we do not have the same problems against all of you, the same fear.
I never said so. I'm fully aware of the situation at hand.
And that is why they fled.
But again, we're all just looking into the past.
Exactly.
I'm looking at the here and now. We have trust issues. We have a common opponent. Can I say what happens afterwards? No, like I did last time. I cannot. Clearly the array of undead minions need to be stopped. The array of it has always been felt under our blade. We're able to take care of that. The entrapment or execution or the end of the undead queen, of that we never have been sure. I've heard everyone's voice here. I have people with it, I have people against it. So, this is the time I ask of all my people. Do you trust my judgment? Do you trust my decision? If so, then bow so I know who you are. Or kneel, works too.
Is mine a given or?
Curtsy.
Well, I mean, as far as I can tell, no one is against my judgment and my decision making. Then you will find yourself in a unique piece of history, one that was written and perhaps will have new pieces written.
Look at the bird up there.
I have said before, we will either make history together or we'll find ourselves in a massacre. I cannot say what will happen after the death of this queen, but I can say that we will take care of the minions, considering our town and our lives are in danger tonight, as far as I've been told. Is that agreeable?
Very well. I will act as an in-between to mediate and coordinate.
Here comes Kent. Everyone make way. Look at them billionaire strut. It's like Vince McMahon arrived.
Right.
Actually, no. That's horrible.
And
After
if
everything
you
he
want
did.
actions to be louder
Poor
than
Kent.
words, then I will
He does not deserve that
see
comparison.
the defense of Ravenwood tonight to be
Too soon.
successful.
I will discuss with the others, though I know they still have misgivings, as your people do. I do not know how many would be willing to assist. But I will try.
This is the time you become a leader to your people, even if they are currently probably seeing you as a de facto one.
Yeah, let's grab.
But this is the time you step up. Because I cannot have people half in, half out. It's either you're in or you're not.
Track record isn't very good with that. Not for Ravenwood.
And
but
that's why I
we
said
will.
we either write history or we write massacre.
And next time, have some of your witches come with you to support your cause, because right now, it seems like they sent you to the lion's den alone to play a victim.
I'm here.
As am I.
Well, that's better. Introduce yourself.
My name is Caspian.
The bird.
Everyone knows me. Yeah, that's bird brain.
Arabella.
Yes. I have come to volunteer my services through the day at the clinic for as long as I am needed. I care not for treaties or anything. I just want to make sure that innocent people do not get hurt.
Thank you for showing us your intentions, not just talking about them.
I shall remain in the clinic throughout the day if anyone needs me.
One thing, and I'm not entirely sure if this has been cleared up or not. Has it been made clear that we did not disturb the grave of your grandfather?
Yes, I have talked to multiple people that were present. There was, I dare say, a lot of rumors going round, but I try not to believe anything at face value. I was angry at first, and now I understand that it might have been a ploy from others who wish to cause more of a division than there already has been.
A respectful thing that Ravenwood has always done is that once someone is their soul is to be judged and purified, we do not disturb a grave unless it's absolutely necessary, as we had to do to burn the remains of those that were going to be risen.
It will be sacrilegious on so many levels. The mere thought of it.
I appreciate it. I did not think that it was anyone directly from the town. I thought it may have been rogue agents that were within the town, but I was quite perturbed at the time and angry. And I know that some of you may have seen my posting. The original one, not the one that was duplicated to look heinous.
Yes, what's in the past is in the past.
But regardless, I would like to apologize to any who it may have offended the original one. It is the first time I've ever felt so angry in my life, and I dare say I did not know how to handle it.
I did it on stream.
But I hope to handle things better in the future.
That was the point, Pop Tarts. That's what made it so funny.
Speak to your people, High Priest, and as
Because I always mispronounce
now
it
is your
too.
time to be the leader of yours.
Gardenier.
Not much time is there to waste.
Your Grace, may I speak?
Please do.
As I mentioned before, I was stuck in my animal form for a long time. But even then, I did everything that I could to protect Ravenwood. I warned you all. I pointed out dangers. I even told you all to stop getting rid of the runes. And nobody listened. Over and over again. Until danger found you.
You also made it very clear that you were manipulating us. Are you
wasn't
aware
manipulating you. I was
that there
letting you
were
think
rumors
that
you
I
were
was-
feeding us incorrect information and
What
nothing about
incorrect
it?
Information. That I was an old man?
No, not that. That all these enemies that I
let
asked
you
you about
believe-
to find, you were actually protecting them.
No. I told you the lion was in the jungle. It was your job to find him or not.
Well, the lion is dead, so perhaps, even though the journey towards this end was arduous and intricate, we did eventually get there.
I asked for a word with the prince, if you don't mind.
Skipping my standard sentence, is this something in private?
No. If you want an act of good faith, let us restore the runes that once protected the city.
No.
And you don't have to worry about the undead queen visiting you.
I've got plenty of holy water and we should be fine.
The trust, the mistrust, as has been said before, still runs deep. I have no understanding of these runes. We will fight our own battles if must be. Henceforth, I said, the defense of Ravenwood not only lies on our hands as it always has, but the act that you wish to portray, a good act, will be of the Willowbrook witches fighting the undead queen.
There's
If
no need to
she
lie, Your
decides to attack.
Grace. Willowbrook witches helped you before. They can help you again. Your protection has not always relied on your armies.
As I said, the lives of the witches that wishing to protect Ravenwood will rely on that fact. They will fight by their person, but I will not have my city be left with these ruins of yours.
Very
I know
well.
this is not ideal, but this is the way it will be.
It's not ideal for you. I
It'll
tried
be-
to warn before and nobody listened. Let
The
my
runes-
warnings go unheard again.
The runes are a strenuous activity, but they would keep power at bay. If you do not wish for them, that is your choice.
Understood.
I am to check upon Arabella that she has everything situated. If you need to speak to me, I will be there.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Sedona, come with me. Same with you, Bishop. Same with you, Nigel. And I suppose indirectly also Alistair.
Yes, if you wish.
Well, I've been staying in that little
As a
place.
matter of fact, let's make use of something that we should have done a long time ago.
I want to go to the graveyard and sanctify the lands once again.
Very well.
I have no idea, X, what's gonna happen. At this point, there was never any script to any of this, you know. We were happy, no matter what you guys wanted to pursue, no matter how the story was supposed to develop. I am as uncertain as everyone else is. Which is what's most exciting about all of this, you know?
It was locked for a reason. Only I have injury. I assume that is not really a hard-kept secret. Everyone knows how to get to the eye.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, well, you're about to find
Goody
out.
two shoes.
Just so no other people can hear it outside these walls. Just a moment.
Down, left, right, up, right? Sorry, the final right was supposed to be like correct, not right. Basically doing the cross. Forward, backwards, left, right.
Understood.
Yes.
If anyone else was unaware, then, well, everyone stood next to me, so, you know.
It's okay, Zakro, thank you.
I have a feeling all this food has gone stale by now. It's been here so long.
Yes, I wasn't exactly in the mood.
Oh, I guess I see now.
Yes,
Welcome.
welcome indeed to the Eye. That was one of Godfrey's well-established secrets in a way, but also people found out, so it's not as much of a secret, but it is a place where eyes and ears cannot find themselves. Any of the other exits or entrances have been blocked off.
You're off the map.
And
Off the
of
grid.
course the door has been locked with the key that only I possess.
Yeah, take that, Bob Dart.
I've brought all of you here because right now you are my closest advisors. And what will
Closet
be
advisors.
said within this room, I will not have you say to anyone else until the moment arises. Because I still do not know of anyone that is a informant or is giving whispers to any of the witches. But I've known all of you for a while now, and I can trust you. So, when I say this, keep this within your own. Well, I guess it will be 5 people here. Don't let anyone else know. This is a very careful, deliberated action that we will use. I am not a fool, and I've had people underestimate me so many times, and even now, the priest, the way he spoke, thought that we would not be needed, that they could do it all on their own. Well, it is about the time that they found out what we are truly made of. For yes, we will work together to get rid of this undead queen. That is a must. Well, that's awkward. She's aware of what I'm going to say, but I suppose we can wait for her to wake back up.
Steam Tuesday. It's gonna happen.
I guess I can use this time to ask, what in the Lord's name were you thinking, Bishop? To run after your brother that blindly?
I wasn't thinking, good prince. I was acting on a pure instinct. An instinct that went against my better judgment. I had to see him, I had to make sure that he is safe. All my attempts to find him, the bounty, visiting the farmstead, none of them brought any fruit. So when I saw this opportunity, perhaps the last one, I at least wanted to make sure he's alright and either say my goodbyes or perhaps convince him to answer some of my questions and to do what's right. I suspected his involvement with the Cursed. I suspected Isabel's connections, and I was hoping that this would allow me to have a chat with the priest. I want to assure you, Prince, that I was hoping to avoid exactly this. The energy the priest brought today was the exact opposite I advised them against. I advised humility, I advised sacrifice, I advised bending the knee. I advised that as the only condition for our cooperation. Instead, they brought accusations, they brought wounds from the past, opened them and rubbed salt into them, completely ignoring all of our concerns, all of our reasons for this war. They simply see themselves as victims, as the ones that were the only ones affected by all the evils and horrors of this war. I am glad you reminded them that the war works both ways, and that there are heroes and losses on both sides. I am sorry.
Yeah.
I failed at my attempt to facilitate this dialogue to be productive, and I threatened this potential alliance by bringing this cursed blood to our home. And I thank you for your patience and for your courtesy that you show them instead of putting them on the fire immediately. You truly are wise and composed, Prince.
My first idea was to indeed, because I was only barely informed before this priest walked into our town. I was actually going to speak to you, but that is now a past station.
Yes,
but yes, I was made aware of this interruption to our daily lives.
I told them exactly when to arrive. They arrived about 45 minutes earlier than they were supposed to, just so you know.
Yes, I understand. But yes, my first initiative thought was to indeed put them on the pyre, because the back and forth, and to please the people, I would have. But as I have been pointed out by Sedona, is that I am now playing chess, and the chess pieces are farther ahead, and making a move to just take a piece was not going to be enough. So therefore, we needed something more. Now, Sedona is already aware of this, and I assume that she'll be with her senses in a moment, but what I wish to convey to all of you is that indeed we will showcase why we should never be underestimated. I find myself in the opportunity of a lifetime to once again outsmart our adversaries. So yes, as I said before, we will take care of this undead queen. We will join that little crusade in order to be rid of, I guess, the minions, and I don't even know how this all works. I wasn't there when it was first entrapped, but whatever they need to do, they can do their little thing. But I want to make sure that once we are in this battle, that our attention will flow more towards making sure that we are protected. Now, yes, we'll take care of the minions, and if your attention gets diverted more towards protecting another of our kind, then that's where you'll sway your sword. And once this undead queen has been put to the end, and they have been drained of their energy in order to keep it, whatever they need to do, they expend their energy in order to tie this queen, make her end, whatever the fuck. Then, sorry, father. Then we will show our hand. And if this queen is truly vanquished, then it's their turn. And it's their time.
Oh boy.
For all the things that have happened in the past. For all the sacrifices we had to make. And for the family De Luca. We will find our blades within reach of them. And every single one of them, cut them down and put them on the pyre next. That is how we will showcase that we are not to be underestimated. And that they always need us. We don't need them.
Does make sense.
And then
too.
we'll take care of the escorts chosen. For they will be the only enemy left. And
Everything
we will have free reign to
the
call in
prince
reinforcements.
said, everything that he believes in is firmly in line
That
with his
is
character
my idea.
from
That
the
is
very
my
beginning.
plan.
He
That
never
is me
strayed
moving
away. He never
further
deviated.
ahead.
There were attempts,
Yes, it will require some planning. But the very gist of it is
but
to
it always
help
brought us
vanquish
back
this
here.
queen. And then we'll take care of the survivors. Have they expunged and used their magic?
There was definitely a chance for a different kind of
Right.
route, a different
What if-
development. But
we'll probably need
the
their
chance was
trust in
squandered.
order for this to work with minimum casualty.
Yes,
And
like I said,
the way
we will
it's
give what we need.
stand at the moment she has walked into Arden. Maybe when she has a talk with her people, I mean his people, I would volunteer to walk into their den. Maybe I can get a read of some of their people, like she got a read of us.
Of course, if you're wanting to do that. I remember you suggesting and wanting to do this in the past, and yes, feel free to walk into their den and get a read of how many they have and the people involved. The more we know, the better.
Yes, so we've given them a little bit by letting them walk into here and read all of our opinions. I feel it's only fair we do the same.
Right. Get a good sense of their numbers. Write down as many names or faces as you can. So we can keep that to ourselves.
Yes.
And as I said before, none of this leaves this room. It is just us five now that are in the know. I don't trust the rest of the folk.
Yes, I believe Mr. Vane has been particularly vocal and loud in recent days.
He speaks from the heart. Out of place, out of line, but from the heart.
What is your take on this, Benedict, as you are in this room my oldest friend? I wish to hear your opinion clearly about this idea and plan.
I'm afraid the Cursed Bloods left us no other choice, good prince. Every time we extend our hand, every time we offer any kind of courtesy, it is met with arrogance, further attempts to manipulate, and always claiming that they are the saints that they are portraying themselves to be. Regardless of everything we brought up, they simply sweep it under the rug and point all the fingers and guilt at us. Unfortunately, this is not a basis for any kind of alliance or mutual cooperation that would have future. It is perhaps unfortunate. There was a chance for something more, but perhaps it was impossible and doomed from the very beginning, from the start. Our society, our town, has been like this for generations, and it has served us well. It brought us prosperity, it brought us peace, brought us safety. These trials that we are currently facing are no doubt trials bestowed upon us by the God Almighty to test our faith, our courage, and our strength. We must not hesitate. to walk this path. We must show God that He put His faith in us for a reason. And we must show Him that we will not bow down to those who are serving the devil. For we are God's chosen. And we have responsibility for our people, for this town, and for the future of mankind. Exactly, M9. Exactly, that is what it is, you know. Just a fucked up world and a fucked up situation. It is
Make
dark.
sure we gather as much information as we can.
But it is what it is.
And before anything else, yes, this was now told to us. This priest was going to attack us tonight. What do we know of this attack? I was only informed by Sedona briefly.
It's because I was the one at the gate. I was the one that spoke with them. As I said, she approached the gate and simply made her demands. She wanted me to tell
I
her the
loved,
location
Shay,
of the
that you
Willowbrook Witches.
acknowledged
When I
that you were
denied
the one who
knowing it,
convinced me. It was such a good timing on that.
Then she made the demand
The bishop is pissed
of,
off, but
if we do
I
not
loved it.
deliver the location of the Willowbrook Witches within 24 hours, she will destroy the city.
Well, I suppose, oh my. If they are going to act with word, then the Willowbrook Witches will show themselves in defense of Ravenwood.
Yeah. And I
If
told
not,
them,
then I
I
guess
told
we
the
already
priest
know
yesterday,
what their answer is
humility,
about this
you
whole
know, sacrifice.
alliance.
As I said, it's
You
becoming a
have to
nightly
show
thing.
us you mean it.
I'm getting kind of used to getting threatened at the gate. Hand over this or we do this to the city, so it's kind of a thing. But if the Willowbrook Witches are here, that's not going to go so well. That's exactly who she's looking for. I mean...
Right, but that's her goal. And, like, why the Willowbrook Witch? Why are they special to her? Why not the Chosen?
Has no one been listening today? Okay, I'm going to point out a couple of things here. One, the reason why is because they said it themselves. They have the texts and the knowledge to be able to put her away.
Yeah,
if somebody had the one thing that they could use
there are
against
no
you,
good
you
guys
wouldn't
this
want them
season.
alive, would you?
There is no one,
Right,
And-
the
no
Chosen definitely
saints.
don't have any information on it.
Oh, they
We're all
probably
fucked
do,
up.
but they're not going to share it, and most likely they're not going to use it. Most likely they're more than happy to sit back and let her rain chaos on all of us until she gets to them. And then they might consider dealing with her. The other thing I want to point out is, and it might just be me, but you had asked the bishop his opinion on this. What he gave you was not really an answer.
Oh, no.
Makes
Why?
me curious.
I serve the people of Ravenwood. And I serve God's will. And it is my job to ensure that the prince's reign is effective and supported by the church. Regardless of what I think, regardless of what I personally might suggest, it matters not. You, Prince, gave the people of Ravenwood a chance to speak up. Some of them did. And they showed that they are firmly behind you. And if the people of Ravenwood are behind you, then so am I. Until the very end. The church is behind you.
Maybe one day, when this is all said and done, you lay your position, your title to the side, and we can speak as old friends.
That might happen sooner rather than later. Allow me to show you this. A letter from Vatican.
Is this something that has to be read in private or just out loud, I suppose?
It is for your eyes only.
Right.
No matter what happens, Prince, I am behind you. For as long as I'm appointed to this title, for as long as I am the head of the church, you will have your ally with me. In me. And what comes next, we will cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, that's interesting. If that is his wish. But there's one part that was also now asked today and said in public by this priest. Why does everyone doubt me and find reasons, rumors, talks of what runs within my veins? I grow tired of it.
Oh, my prince, they have crafted their story very well.
Apparently so.
And they chose
They
the
took
worst
the
possible
culture-
moment to hit you over the head with it, trying to discredit you in front of everyone, further reinforcing that their attempts to make an alliance were laughable at best. Hello, Sammy.
Right, well. That is behind us, I hope. For I need people to trust me. Especially now. I can't have these rumors fly around. I already had an asking of Rosalind before to apparently showcase my hands, which really confused me. I did, and there was nothing that she saw that was off, anything oddity or I don't understand. It was asked, I showed, nothing came of it. No matter, I suppose it's just in the past. Nonetheless, as I said, what happens in this room must stay within this room and these 5 people. I require every single one of you to be on your best efforts in the upcoming days. Make sure that our people can thrive once again. We can find our light within all this shadow.
What's up, Ivan?
Any questions of mine? Because I do not want any of my words to be unclear.
What's happening, Sammy? Well, we had the meeting.
I have one question. It was a point
Priest
brought up earlier.
Ode arrived, and it didn't go well.
Bishop. Bryn resides on the other side with the witches, is that correct?
I'm afraid so. I don't have it confirmed. He only claimed to be with Isobel, but he never said where he is or with whom specifically. He is no longer residing in Ravenwood. That is all I know.
Right. My concern is, he's your family and brother. If you had to choose between him and the prince, who would you choose?
If it comes down to that, then of course I will choose the prince. And Bryn knows that. It is my hope that he will not put me to this decision.
Yes, you showed weakness when you ran to him without any protection or without telling anybody properly.
I did. But can you blame me?
No, but it is reason for my concerns, but you have answered it.
All I can say is that I do not know what the future holds. I am firmly in God's hands. The control over my life has been relinquished long before. When I became the bishop, I swore to do his bidding, to be the instrument of his will. And right now he wants me to be by Prince's side, to continue serving him, and to protect the people of Ravenwood to the best of my abilities. Bryn, Alden Bryn, my brother, is no longer of Ravenwood. He does not live here, he does not need my protection.
My apologies, my harsh question, but
I think now is not the time to hold back any questions. It needs to be asked. If not to give yourself an answer,
It was a very good
Alistair,
question.
but to give the
He was
bishop
right to ask it.
himself an answer, or at least something to think about. I myself am honestly disheartened with the fact that Alden has not decided to stick with his roots, if you will. He was at our side during the wars. He was at our side before the wars.
27
The
semi.
love between the two
That is the
brothers, even
end
though
date.
it kind of grew apart, was still a close bond.
That is what we announced.
Again, I'm disheartened that he chose to not be here.
Of course, things can blow
Not
up
to
any
even
moment
have
now, but officially, you know.
taken the opportunity to speak to me personally, as I've done a few times with him. But this is the times we find ourselves in. Wars do tear bonds, even if they are strong, apart.
yes, my prince. I just wanted to make sure there would be no hesitation, since we will be on a battlefield at some point, and we can't afford to hesitate.
Yes, of course. I appreciate the question. Any other questions?
I just want to clarify one thing. Our rules, our laws apply to every single one of us. If I am found to be a traitor, then I would expect all of you to do what must be done so that justice is served. And I would expect all of you to understand that. None of us are above laws. We all swore to our oaths. And we must all promise to keep the safety of Ravenwood and its people as our top priority. That is why we're here, that is why we're doing everything.
Well, I urge all of you to take some time to process all of tonight, to have good meals as you're going to need your strength. Pray in the church and find your guidance with God. It'll be troubled times ahead.
If you are set on making this alliance, at least to work towards getting rid of the undead queen, you should perhaps set some boundaries of what is acceptable and what is not. Otherwise, people will try to take advantage and use that to do things.
Yes. I myself will retire very soon, so I will just put this forward. The alliance is indeed an exchange of information. There's also a understanding that if a fight occurs at Ravenwood, that yes, there will be witchcraft used, obviously, because that's how they fight. So in order of the defense of Ravenwood, then witchcraft, obviously, we will have to allow for now. However, if it comes to any time that it's not a fight, then we should not have witchcraft willingly just be cast within the walls. It should just be outside of the borders if they must. And yes, I understand that we will find ourselves moments that if Ithrit's Chosen show up, that we won't have to fight them, and that is for the other witches to understand that we are after the Chosen. They are still our enemies. They still cannot be trusted. And I think they understand that, as apparently this priest, if that is true, was attacked by the Chosen. So I fully understand that they will not be a part of this alliance.
You will excuse me, I need to retire for a little bit.
Of course, I will probably retire soon myself. Oh, before you do, just take this. Oh, wait, fine. Sorry, 1 second. You know what, I have too many notes, let me just take it out that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will take things from here. You two go have your rest.
Of
Well,
course.
I'm not saying that everyone needs to go to bed. Like I said, I just need to retire for a few minutes.
Oh, Captain?
No.
I thought that was a grunt if I had something to say.
Oh, no.
I love the two. The captain and the lieutenant. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is exactly why we make multiple landing zones and randomize them. Oh, this is awkward.
We need a new way to, Yep.
Come on.
We should have thought about this.
I feel very close to all of you right now for some reason.
So I need to, rescue.
No. I went out the window.
Oh, look, I saved someone.
Oh.
I can't even jump.
Okay, next person to be saved.
Captain, they're getting very close.
Thank you.
We will not speak of this.
Well, I try to
Everyone
make my
needs to
portal
lend
so
your
that
hand.
etiquette is not necessary, you know? By having at least 2 randomized landing zones. And I was here this entire time.
Oh, look, he's so efficient. You've got ahead of us.
Yes, I went out the window.
Some sort of sickness or something. I only recently started feeling better. When was she put on the pyre?
2 days ago, I believe.
Alright. Perhaps that's it. Ah. Your Eminence, hello.
My apologies for interrupting your private conversation.
No, it wasn't private.
No.
I heard some...
She just dropped in. I was just finding out about Alice. Apparently, she is dead.
Yes.
Yes.
You can put
I heard some noise from here. I was hoping to find you here, Father. I wanted you to hear this from me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to provide you with a detailed report of everything that happened yesterday, but things have been rather hectic and you're going to have to hear this from me. Alice was indeed killed and put on a pyre. Her remains were stored at the mausoleum and handed over to the Iscariot's chosen. The reason for this was unfortunately simple. She failed to make any kind of progress in her attempt to be cleansed from the cursed blood condition. This was rather obvious from her continuous attempts to cast magic in the presence of others in the very town we are currently in, and by her arrogant and combative nature that she retained despite reading the scripture, fasting, and her so-called sincere attempts to get better. None of it unfortunately worked out, and even though I wanted you to make the final judgment, she left the Seeker no other choice but to put her down. I don't know if it was the hunger, the belief that the walls were closing in on her and she was about to be executed, but she was put down by Jin. I am sorry. I know how hard you tried. I know that you had your plan, and I was hoping it would be successful. But the journal that we discovered afterwards was given to me by Eleanor, and that I then handed over to the sister so that she can give it to you. The very last page made it rather obvious that Alice never intended to get better. She was simply here to gather information. She was working for the Iscariot's chosen this entire time.
Really?
Yes. She fooled us.
It just doesn't add up, Your Eminence. If you were a spy, why would you go ahead and out yourself in like the first day or so of treatment?
I do not know.
You're a very bad spy. I have a feeling that the treatment might have been working. Her behavior was changing considerably, right? You said that she started casting magic, doing witchcraft in town. Is that correct?
Yes.
And her behavior after the first session, was it more combative?
Yes.
She cast magic the day before, or rather the night before she was approached by His Eminence.
All right. So that's essentially like a day or so after treatment.
I am of the belief that you need to get worse. Things need to get worse before you get better. That is how medicine usually works. Perhaps this was a symptom, but the most concerning part about all of this is the journal that she left behind. That was rather detailed, and once you read it, it should put things into perspective.
There's a lot of interesting things in that journal, Your Eminence.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Right, typically when you're trying to drive the devil out of someone with an exorcism, it doesn't go down easily. There's usually a bit of a fight involved. You'll see the behavior of the individual change. More violent, thrashing,
The
strange
devil
behavior.
does not want to relinquish the soul he claimed for himself.
Hi.
You are correct.
Absolutely. And my thoughts on the matter is maybe when his treatment started to begin, maybe it caused the differences in her behavior. I only wish that she would have been captured instead of killed. That way we could have performed an exorcism.
I tried. But I failed in this regard.
There
I am
was a
sorry.
seeker responsible for killing her.
It was Jin.
And whose orders was given for this seeker to kill her? Why could he not simply capture her and put her away?
He had no such orders. He acted on his own accord. He
And why
deemed
is
it
he not
necessary.
punished?
Because there is no custodian to rein them in. There is no one that would be in
Why
charge of
does
them.
his job?
That would be a question for the prince. The custodian, the previous one, was killed by 2 similar seekers who also acted on their own accord, thinking that they were doing the right thing.
Well, that seems like an issue. You have somebody doing whatever they want to do with no
Yeah, but he's still a seeker.
person
Like,
above them.
he might
to
be
oversee
helping
it.
us, but
That's not a
I
very
don't feel like I'm in
good,
control of him. He does whatever the fuck he
method.
wants. I think Sister is more in charge of him than I am. I wish you...
You could put everything at risk, Your Eminence. If we have a specific type of work that we're trying to do, and someone just interrupts your work and kills the individual, that's not very good now, is it?
No, it is
I
not.
do agree that she should have been put down, but I would have really liked to have tried an exorcism with yourself, Your Eminence.
As would I. Perhaps he simply put her down over misery, to spare her any further suffering, or perhaps he deemed her to be too much of a threat to be left alive. I do not know. I suggest you talk to him and allow him to explain himself before we come to any conclusions.
Well, I will talk with him, but if he doesn't have anyone that he reports to, then he's not going to listen to me. I'm just a visitor here, Your Eminence.
There is one person he will listen to. Sister Immaculata. She seems to be the one who holds the reins for now.
Very well. And I will speak to the sister then.
That is what I would recommend. And once again, I apologize.
No, it's not your fault, Your Eminence. These things happen. You can't control everyone. Some people don't have any sort of patience.
Patience is a virtue in short supply these days.
Yes. May I ask you a question?
Of course.
Did you ever figure out... I'm sorry to interrupt that conversation out there with whatever that thing was that was talking to him. But they were very, how do I say, full of themselves. I'm curious as to which individuals are the ones that are okay to be here and which ones are not.
The prince made an order for us to assist these cursed bloods in order to defeat this undead queen.
I see.
Strange times call for strange alliances. For whatever it's worth, I do not have a horse in this race. All I care for is the safety of Ravenwood. If the prince believes that it can be achieved by finding some common ground to overcome this larger threat, then I will stand behind him and support him the best way I know how. My only goal, just like the last time there were similar talks, was to establish dialogue. I only regret that what transpired today did not transpire the way I suggested it should have. What the priest brought was the exact opposite I asked her to bring.
Yes. It wasn't a very good impression.
No, it was
Essentially, the only thing it seemed like to me was they came here to gloat and point fingers and to essentially say we're not helping you.
Yes. Despite the fact that the priest kept convincing me that we cannot win this war alone, and that they cannot win this war alone, and that we all need each other. That tone changed today, and this meeting turned into an argument and victim blaming, and it was not really productive. However, I am glad that the prince gave everyone a chance to express themselves and their thoughts on the matter.
Yes, and I confess I don't understand how you solve witchcraft with witchcraft, more devil's work with more devil's work. But I see that the position that you're in, and the prince, and everyone here, and I respect what you're trying to do.
You shouldn't. You should condemn it, for it is not what the church would have done. At least under normal, traditional circumstances. I do not want you to be tainted by this corruption, by this lack of resolute actions. Whatever happens, whatever transpires here, I want you to learn from this. I want you to use this as an exercise of faith. And if we fail, if this alliance, this cooperation bites us in the end, you must ensure that the Vatican knows of this, and they will not make the same mistake.
Of course, yes. I understand it's a very volatile situation that you have here. On one hand, you have the potential destruction of your city. On the other hand, you have to allow something that you despise. Something that could potentially have you rot in hell for eternity. But the way that I see it is you're not the one committing the witchcraft. You're not the one committing the sin. They are. And as to your comment of the alliance, she just said that she was trying to manipulate and poison you. I don't understand it. She said it would not hurt you, but it would influence the others around you. I beg to question who is this necromancer really the biggest enemy here? Regardless, we just have to stay the path, Father.
I can only imagine that you are not the only one in this belief, and I can hardly blame you. I should be the one who lashes out. I should be the one who gets offended. I should be the one who starts building a pyre for this priest for trying to assassinate me, and everyone else for constantly trying to manipulate me and either remove me or use me for their agenda, because I have the ear of the prince, and I try to use this position wisely to guide him to provide him with counsel, to comfort him and to remind him of what's important, what's at stake. And yet, I always find myself stuck between the rock and a hard place, no matter the decision I make.
No, it's fine. The only reason why you're weighing this decision is because if there's nothing left here, you really have failed. If at least life continues in Ravenwood, there's always a chance to make things right again. Don't lose faith, Father.
That is the only thing I have left. Father Abraham, faith. Even though the hope is disappearing, there is at least faith.
Yes. God be with you, your remnant.
God be with you both.
Well, shall we get on with this building that I'm discussing with?
The rise of Father Abraham now. Yeah, it's what the bishop needs, you know. He needs this pep talk, otherwise he's just gonna lose it. But it's becoming less and less effective. How many times do we have to go through this? How many times can we just roll with it, you know? What is going on here? That is a very bright necklace. Greetings. Oh, what's that lantern?
Sorry, I was just saying a small prayer before possibly fighting the undead.
It is alright. I apologize for disturbing you. I saw you illuminated by the divine light and I came over to pay my respects, but then I realized it was just your lantern when you were kneeling, and I apologize.
You were fine. I was just finishing anyway. I should get back out and make sure I am there to
Begging your
help.
pardon, but there's a commotion at the front gates with the bitch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, lich, bitch.
Language.
That one.
Maybe that if tampering with it, you might.
Well, it is time.
Whatever, worse. Now, along with this, the same day.
That's what I'm afraid of, Shay. Going with my gut.
What on earth?
People have been asking me for my opinion. They don't want to hear it.
Alright, I'll be back momentarily. I have to check something.
Are you undead?
They are on the distance.
Time for the heretics to die.
Oh, here we go.
Strictures guide my hand.
Ooh, archers. Oops. No injured combos, just in case. Look at that. Fighting
Don't go
alongside
near,
crossbows.
the witch on the left.
Die, abominations.
I love his
You'll gain
enthusiasm.
No quarter here.
Oh boy. Here we go. The main event time.
Beneath the darkness, come light.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
pyres would be handy right now, but...
We get it.
Hello.
Ow.
No, you don't, heretic. Yeah.
Right there.
Father is throwing holy water. It's time to bring out the big guns.
Power of Christ compares.
Yes,
Brace
thank you,
yourself.
Father.
I'm gonna hold it.
Send these corpses back into the eternal grace of our Lord.
Aye. We will not suffer them to walk among.
I will hold it. I have it out.
That is a good strategy. Oh boy.
There are lots of undead back there.
Stay down. And underground where you belong.
Careful.
Oh, hello, Black Swan.
Hello.
Holy water.
Holy
yeah,
water.
Mostly wearing white, so just be careful.
The holy waters work.
Damn, that
If you
went
need
right
to
through
change
my
to
shield.
our city.
Oh, I don't need to change.
Our magic was able to go through your shield. Take time to.
If anyone requires magical healing, I can provide it, but I won't give it unless you
Gross.
I do not wish.
Okay, I think you're not very friendly then.
Blasphemy.
We'll stick to our prayers.
Yes.
Are you alright, Father?
Yes. They're gonna some
Watch out!
bandages.
It's approaching.
Are you okay with
All right.
magical healing?
I have.
All right, I'm gonna hit it with the holy water. Hold it.
Sorry.
Oh, by the almighty, that was.
Oh my.
Ugh.
Leave him alone. Oh my.
Come on your feet, good father.
Ugh. Thank you. Thank you.
Bishop, pull back.
Just slow.
Bandage yourself.
I don't need no stinking bandages. All looks very cinematic though.
Yeah, she's gone.
I'm trying to aim high so I do not
She is still here.
inflict it on you.
Communicating while fighting.
Alright, we have more undead.
Such mediocre resistance.
Well, mediocre is better than bad. I have a feeling Sin is about to perma. we don't need to heal for this. This is good enough.
Yes, just taking a moment.
Watch yourselves.
Oh yes, take holy water right in the
All
face. Drink it up.
Hold this one in place.
Holy water. Trickster's guide to my hand.
I don't know what that word. Water combined with this sword was actually doing a number. Black Swan.
Try and get the holy water in our eyes.
Prepare yourselves.
Oh, get out of there.
Quickly. Step back. Right, if I'm able to get the strike in, she's going to be unable to move for a bit of time.
Serve
This voice is awesome. Gonna be like, let's do it. Let's serve her.
Right. Oh goodness!
I think I got Dimitri. He was standing too close. Oh boy.
I am the darkness.
That you are.
Right, how would you with these? Apologies.
Oh! Gross! I got poofed. Almost. Oh yeah, lots of sorcery. I'm alright, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh goodness.
No, Atlan protected me. That was Atlan. I was making sure that I was okay. That I could heal in peace.
Brace yourself.
Ziva.
Oh, there you are. Evil witch. Some more holy water.
Yes, more holy water, please.
Oh.
Man.
May Christ save your soul.
Rot and wither.
Get up, get up. Do not get close to her whenever you see her about to do that.
Don't have the skill to fight. At least have the decency to die. Pathetic.
Get away from me, there, don't get out.
She draw a straff, move away.
Skill when we need him, right? Ah! Hey! That was my face, you firebolt! We're supposed to be on our side.
Soil ranged or arrows or magic.
Soda's just having a laugh.
Rest yourself, I can hold them for you.
Ratcliffe!
Rot and wither.
The bird. Let's kill it.
Sandalea, chant it.
chant it. Oh, apologies.
Zeldir!
I guess we're not killing the bird. How unfortunate.
Zeldir!
Zeldir!
There!
Deer? Where?
Zeldir.
Not the deer. You better.
Chant it! Other Willowbrook witches, chant Zeldir!
Witches!
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
These words.
Zeldir!
Try to surround her.
Zeldir.
Get the
He's
rounders,
trying to get close to you, watch
chant
yourself.
it, Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Zeldir! Zeldir!
Zeldir.
More.
Zeldir!
So you haven't covered the
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Love these freaking maces. They're awesome in PvE.
Zeldir! Surround her! Keep
Zeldir.
chanting! Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Damn it,
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
I fight with you, Prackliff.
Zeldir.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Zeldir. Focus on
I'm
the
not doing
undead.
heretic chant.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
I'm just providing support here.
I still need to adjust.
Zeldir!
Oh, she's
Zeldir.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
If you can,
Zeldir,
distract
right?
the undead and pull them away.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
It's not going to keep her away for long.
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Zeldir!
Enough.
Must be something lore related to. I know, bind her powers? Chase her off?
Zeldir!
Zeldir.
Have no idea. Why we're selling it?
I'm sure
But it
you
looks
remember
cool.
those words.
Very
Hopefully it
well.
works.
Ravenwood, you win this round.
Oh yes, it did work.
You should have kept your weapons sheathed. Now, when the fight truly matters, I know what to expect.
And you should have remained dead. You are not welcome here or anywhere else. You will be put back into the ground where you belong.
We shall see.
That we will.
Are you okay, Caspian?
Okay, sorry that I'm late.
No, fine.
It's okay.
I don't know where Arabella is, by the way.
I'm gonna go help with the clinic.
Careful with that thing.
I believe she is going inside to provide medical aid to those.
That's not going to always work. We have to be careful, especially now that we showed her all our cards.
Let us bring those who are injured to the infirmary and provide them with medical care. Has anyone fallen?
I can do a
Always
quick
idle
flyover.
I believe a couple of witches got hurt. That's about it.
What a mess.
Let us quickly check upon Arabella.
It was super cool. I did enjoy actually just providing support and participating.
At the moment.
I could definitely use some patching up.
You get inside the clinic now.
Bishop.
I don't see anybody down.
What is it?
You fought well out there, like a true warrior.
That's the least I could do on this day.
Thanks. I got a bit
But you fought
tired
well
and
yourself.
passed out there, I guess.
I'm just worried that
Get to the clinic.
it's not going to be as easy
On it.
next time.
Glad you finally decided to put a helmet on.
Yes, it was helpful.
Oh, so you are alive.
Only
Oh,
cost me
yeah.
my soul. Yes, we are screwed.
You ran into a rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hear about everything also. It's very windy, isn't it? Now we have a sister to talk to. If she's
How
around.
to say, Caspian, get yourself.
I wonder. But yes, very cool fight. And poor Soda was all on his own, along with the assistance of Tennessee, but he did a great job. It is not an easy thing to be surrounded by like 30 people. Sister? Time for bed? No, it's still time. Oop, not here. But at least I can go visit the restroom. I'll be right back. You know what, I'll just sit in the confessional booth. Oh, I need to relog too. But I have a feeling the Steam Tuesday will kind of kick me out eventually. Alright, be right back. Alright, I have returned. Let us continue. Kind of expected the Jinn to be there. Is there my sister? It is. Almost as if he doesn't care about me at all. Just cares about the damn sister.
Just pray in this corner right here. You know, pray for our victory as I can't seem to move.
There's a whole church that you could do that at, right? Like a whole church.
No, I understand this, but you know, it is. I just cannot help myself but admiring the infrastructure of this place. It is absolutely one that, like, yep, no, niet.
Okay, you know, I'll let you get back to that, Brother Dimitri. You have.
All right, we're good. All right, I will go pray in the church. Privyet, Bishop.
Oh, Brother Dimitri. You fool.
Hello, Ben. Are you just staring at me? You're not going to say what?
Yes.
Why is that?
I thought I was pretty clear yesterday when you brought me to meet the priest. I told you what the best chance we had to make this alliance was. And instead, you decided to do the exact opposite of what I suggested.
Me? My mundane who brought you there because Ode is always around everyone else, and Ode decided of their own volition to show up? Did you see me there? Did you see your brother there? Did you see anyone else?
That is exactly the point. Why was she here? Or he, or they, 45 minutes earlier, before I even had a chance to inform the prince about everything, to prepare him? Why was Ode alone? Even though...
That's a fucking question that I asked as well.
I thought that perhaps Ode was manipulated and sent here into the lion's den to fail, but... now that I'm hearing your version of events, perhaps it was her who wanted this to fail. Because she didn't exactly sell the idea of both sides working together. She made the opposite of it.
Well, what happened? Because I wasn't there. Your brother wasn't there. I was waiting for him. That's who I was going with. And apparently Ode speaks for whatever witches are in the clinic. But apparently no one was there, so...
What Ode did was to point fingers at us in our own town, ignoring everything that happened during the war. Ode came here to vent. Ode came here to let us know how horrible and evil we are and how much we are not needed. That we need you, in fact, otherwise we are doomed. And we are the ones who need to bend the knee. And completely change our way of thinking in a single day. Apologize for everything and apparently live happily ever after.
Let's make this clear, because I'm in this fight because of your brother and my sister, who Ode apparently outed as witch. And that's my only family that I have left. And this person's apparently making decisions for a lot of other people who can't even be there to talk, because apparently my sister said I showed up in town at the end of some meeting. Clearly didn't communicate with her anything about that stuff.
Come with me.
You walk really fast. Jeez.
Time is of the essence.
That's new.
I need you to make me a promise.
What was that?
This alliance, in whatever form or shape it takes, will at some point put us on the same side to fight against this witch, this necromancer, this undead queen. I need you to give me your word that you and Alden will leave these lands and never return. I want you to give me a word that you will not participate in this fight, and that you will, in fact, let those other witches deal with this, and let us deal with this.
You know I sat on the wall with a bow today, right? I'm only connected to this because of my sister.
Then
Do you want
take
us to
her.
leave now? You want him to come say goodbye to you? Because she doesn't want to listen.
Then you need to make her listen. And make her listen well.
What if there's going to be an alliance and everyone's going to be fighting on the same side? Then why does it matter? Doesn't that just mean everything's good then?
No. It does not.
Are you saying it's temporary?
I am saying that you three need to leave. I gave your grandfather my word that I will protect you. That I will not let anything bad to happen to you. And in his absence, I am responsible for your well-being. And I am also responsible for Alden's. Give me your word and leave. Or at the very least, stay out of this fight.
I can probably convince your brother to stay out of it. I don't know if I can convince my sister. At least let me know if she helps with this. Can I just get her out and just leave? Or will I not have that much time?
Knock her out if you must. Drag her in chains if you must. Tell her that I am about to kill her or something. Do what must be done. Do not let her get involved in this. That is my last and only warning.
I'll try my best, but she's so fucking stubborn.
Language.
Well, sorry. Apologies. I'll try to get her out.
You are her sister. You must protect her. And if she wants to protect you, both of you need to leave. With Alden.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I was here today, to make sure, because she keeps putting herself in fucking harm's way, but I think I understand the danger of the situation.
Good. You are forgiven, my child. Go with God. No, boy. Forgive me, Father.
Excuse me.
Father Abraham, are you hurt?
Oh, yes, yes. I'm recovering.
Have you been checked by anyone at the infirmary, at the clinic?
Yeah, yes, Eleanor. I was dousing that witch with holy water. She didn't like it.
You did well. You provided a necessary distraction for us and the Curseblots on our side to subdue her.
I think it was more than just a distraction. She really didn't like the holy water. I was throwing it in her face and around her. And, well, she just started coming after me.
Indeed.
She said something. She said, I don't remember what she said, but she seemed surprised about the holy water.
It seems to be effective. Perhaps it somehow interferes with her strong constitution and makes her feel pain.
Yes.
Perhaps
Yeah, she was feeling a little bit.
more holy relics might prove to be even more effective.
Yes, I would think so, perhaps. But she is formidable, that is for certain. She did something to me. I don't know, I feel weaker than I don't feel as spry as I used to be. So, yeah. I don't know, and then she cut my cheek really good. But it's stitched up, so hopefully it'll heal in the next, coming months or so.
Let us hope so. Let us pray for your quick recovery. For now,
Thank you.
we must thank God for sparing your life and allowing you to fight or to douse with holy water another day.
Yes, I was just coming in to pray and thank the Lord for keeping an eye on me out there.
He truly did, and we experienced a victory. Even though the Curseblots are convinced that the Necromancer will come back eventually. At least for now, for today, we can celebrate.
Yes. I confess it was difficult knowing which one I should hit with holy water. I think I hit quite a few witches with holy water today, Father. I doused all of them, as many as I could.
God will not judge you for this cleansing effort. In fact, I'm sure he will acknowledge it and thank you.
Yes, of course. I was running around that field like a madman, Father. Just faith, a dream, and a handful of holy water.
Yes. It was a pure pandemonium, but you conducted yourself well.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I did have to, the mace and some of these, whatever they were, and yeah. For the most part, it was holy water. Yes, I was going to pray and thank the Lord for keeping me alive today.
Well, of course. Let us hope that it will remain so in the upcoming days, and that we will eventually, despite this unsavory alliance, manage to make our God proud and bring this victory and protect our city.
Yes, the Lord works in mysterious ways. No doubt that we are on the path, and the Lord will be our salvation, not these cursed bloods.
Amen.
Amen.
I will leave you to your prayers. May God watches over you. At least I didn't go down at all. I mean, no wonder with my health, but still. Glad I don't have to do any medical RP. Was close though. Blessings.
Two things. Did you get injured during the fighting? And the other, I was going to give you your mace back.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering what happened to it. I presume that now that we have this alliance, you no longer need it to fool anyone.
Nope.
Well, thank you anyway.
As of right now. Well, as of right now, they still talk to me and such. So they seem to have been chipped so far. So.
Be careful, Eleanor. It wasn't me, but someone brought up your name to inform the priest Oath of his actions to use you to poison me. I don't want this to turn on you in any way. I don't want you to be found untrustworthy or perhaps even punished by the other side.
As of right now, they haven't. They've had plenty of chances to say something, so I've talked to them several times yesterday and today, so as of right now, nothing, but I'll keep an eye out.
If they try anything, know that this town is your home and that we will protect you. But let us hope that they are smart, and let us hope that they will move past this and focus our efforts on this necromancer instead.
Okay. I hope so as well, plus most of them are not too much of fighters in comparison to the Chosen. But even if they do try something, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make it through it perfectly.
Yes, you are capable, and your enemies should tremble at their feet whenever you approach with your light and feathery steps.
I'll take that as a compliment, thank you.
Yes, you are the hunter, and a hunter does not alert its prey of his or her presence. That is what I meant.
I do appreciate.
Very well.
I'll leave you to whatever you need to do. I just wanted to give that back to you and see if you're okay after the fight.
I am, but it does seem like Father Abraham is still in pain. If there is any kind of remedy that you could provide him with, I would be of great depth.
I might have something that I can give to.
Thank you. May God watches over you, Eleanor.
You as well.
I hope that's her name. Ah.
Greetings,
Hello?
Bishop. Did
Well
Miss
met.
Eleanor find you?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that's good.
How did you fare after the battle?
Well,
Are you safe?
Rosalind, are you in there?
I'm
Yes.
alright. Yeah,
is
quite
whatever's
happily.
going on.
There was so many in the fray,
Whatever.
like that I didn't really get involved unless I saw a few stray or someone go for someone that was proper hurt.
I'll open up the front.
Yes, smart decision. I'm glad you...
That and, I've got a bow.
Yes, of course. I'm glad you survived and you are thriving as always.
Of course. Been through plenty of fights, me. Ain't gonna stop me now.
That rat behind you seems to be rather combative.
Oh, it's Brian.
Is that... Do you have a pet rat? Did you bring a rat in Ravenwood?
Oh, no, see, there were so many rats about that I decided I would, take at least one or two of them away for, other things. So that's what I did. So this is now a reformed rat. No longer will he be... Yeah, he's not going to be pestering anyone. He's clean. I bathed him. Mostly.
First, we are making alliances with Cursebots, and now we are reforming rats. We are truly lost.
Hey, he guarded the clinic. No
Oh.
one attacked it, so I count that as...
All God's creatures have the right to life. They are put on this earth by God for a reason.
If you do not believe he is in keeping with...
Do you
Ravenwood and the
remember
church,
his
like, I
several
think I
confessions
do.
where he claimed that Cursebots deserve to be burning in hell and that he only regrets not cutting their heads off himself? What the fuck is
I
he
wouldn't
talking
dare go
about?
against the word of the bishop.
And I changed, apparently. My apologies, I was mulling over something in the past. Kent, if you deem it necessary for this rat to be your companion, if you promise to bathe it regularly and feed it normal food that would not produce any kind of sickness or illness and bring plague into our town.
I'm actually feeding him on the mouldy cheese and gone off sausages that people throw away.
Kent, you already
that
brought this undead queen on our doorstep. You summoned it. Is that not enough? Do you also want to bring plague into our town?
Fine.
No! That's not what... It could have lived on the countryside. Just don't bring it here.
Oh, bloody, you made me murder the rat!
I didn't make you do anything!
You made it sound like he needed to die!
No! That
you
was
weren't
not...
welcome!
Yet again, you are jumping to conclusions without thinking. Let this be a lesson. You need to use your head and think twice before you do something. No, we murdered the rat. Oh my god. We are a monster.
Yeah. Alright.
We betrayed Ravenwood. We betrayed the church, the Pope, Miss Roslyn.
I guess I'll clean it up.
Let me. There we go. Take a deep breath. Let us take the rat and give it a proper burial it deserves.
I mean, it's only a rat.
Very well, clean it up. Throw it behind the walls. I tried!
I'll be alright.
Maybe I'll feed it to one of these dogs.
I got thrown.
Oh my god, Kent! May God have mercy on your soul, child.
Rat meat.
It's a good thing I had a helmet too, because probably would.
He's so messed up, he is. But everyone is. Yet again. We are reminded that there are no good people this season. Everyone's fucked up. And I love it.
else seriously injured.
What the?
That I know of, there may be one or two. But seriously injured, no. Who's surprisingly
That is cool.
heavily injured.
So we cannot actually use the board. Well, we kind of can still.
It was a victory for us.
Following?
I actually wanted to remove
There's a rat following him.
the.
Yes, Kent is claiming that's his pet.
Why am I extremely
I've
hot?
seen
Why
it.
am I dying? What is going on?
Yes, he has a pet rat. I was about
Is
to
there
kill
anything worth looking at underneath there?
No, not
I
anymore.
missed my shot, and he said it was his pet afterwards.
Can't.
Yeah?
What is this?
It's my pet rat.
I've never seen a cat go down that alleyway before.
Good. I'm glad that you have a friend. Take good care of it.
Oh, thank you, Bishop.
I seen it today.
It's like Groundhog's Day. And yes, I have officially lost it. God is just having fun with me at this point. Nigel Murray. I think I'll just sit down here for a while and just chill. Oh, nothing wrong, Giddy. Nothing. Everything's fine. Just, we're just taking a moment, a deep breath, to compose ourselves. It's all good. All good in the neighborhood. We don't know what their sister is. I don't think she's coming. The Seeker isn't around, so they're probably together, conspiring. Miss Roslyn. Let's ask her. Ah, I see. I see. Miss Roslyn.
Your Eminence.
Have you seen Sister Immaculata lately?
I have not. Not since the discussion out in the square.
Thank you. I at least wanted to make sure that she is safe, and so are you. I saw you open up your window and I heard Leonidas checking up on you.
When Father Abraham and myself saw the tendrils in the sky and the whole area fog up, I tucked myself away in here for safety.
Of course. A wise decision. I already said everything that I needed to say, so I will spare you of any further explanations or apologies. You heard it all already, and it does not change anything. Just know that I am glad that you are safe, and we'll see what the future holds for us, and what sort of a path God put us on.
I'm glad to see that you're doing all right. And that you're not too badly injured.
yes, I am alive and well for now. And
Is there anything I can get you while you're here?
no, thank you. Get Sister Immaculata something with sprinkles. I think that after today... Actually, no. No sprinkles for her for at least a day. She had no right to claim that she was the one who turned me against the Cursed Bloods. I was supposed to stay between us. For that, she must experience penance. And her penance will be no sprinkles for at least a day.
She holds a lot of guilt.
I know she does. I know that decision was not easy for her to make. But I understand why she did it. And I will not hold it against her. I give you my word. Still. It was not necessary for her to try to protect me like that.
Well, good bishop, if I may, perhaps you should see it as a blessing, that she may see that you were worth protecting in that way.
Perhaps, but that is not her job. Her job is to protect Ravenwood and the people who are living here.
Do you not feel like you're part of that? Part of Ravenwood? You're part of the people as well, aren't you not, Bishop?
I am not. I am a simple servant. I am nothing but a title. A role. Shoes to be filled.
Well, I do believe a lot of people here would argue against that, but good bishop. I think a lot of people see you here as one of them.
Well,
it's part of Ravenwood.
I hope not. Especially after everything that happened. But that is not necessary to discuss any further. We've had enough discussions, enough arguments for an entire lifetime. For now, you should treat yourself and buy yourself some of the finest sweets that Miss Rosalind has to offer, and enjoy her company. I will depart. May God watches over you both.
And you as well, good bishop. Sleep well.
Amazing RP indeed, Winter. Thank you. Thank you for everything. It was intense, it was hectic, but it made sense for everyone involved to act exactly how they were, and I am glad that it wasn't an easy sailing. It was a freaking battlefield. What? What is this? We're not even going to question this. I'm just gonna go sleep in the chapel again. If Brand 6 is over at the chapel, I swear I'm gonna lose it. When is the big Save the Town battle? I have no idea. I have no idea about anything what is planned. I am just trying to keep everything together that's happening in Ravenwood. That's my goal, that's my job as the admin character. It's been that way since the very first day. What happens with the undead queen is more of a role of those who were there from the very beginning, studying, you know, the text, following the clues, investigating everything. That's more, you know, Brother Dimitri, the witches and the rest of the Ravenwood's folks who are not opposed to work with the Curseblots. You know, we were supposed to be the contrast to them. We were supposed to be the stubborn bastards who follow the old ways and who are here, you know, to protect the people and fuck everything else. That is what we are, that is what we do. But now that the witch turned up on our doorstep and attacked us all just the same, we were put into quite a pickle. And we had to make compromises. And now we have this alliance, but according to the prince, this alliance is simply but an opportunity to both kill the queen, the necromancer, and to then betray the Curseblots that will be helping us and to dispose of them. So naturally the bishop is like, well, this does sound good in theory, you know, it's kind of everything we always hoped for with the custodian. It does make sense for a prince to act this way, but how could we after all this time, after everything we said, after we went back and forth? Especially if our brother is involved in all of this. And so is Isabel. And even the freaking Arabella. We made a promise before all of this to that freaking Gardenier old man that we would protect them. And of course we would never betray our brother unless he did something horrible. So we never even had to make a decision. We just did the only thing we could have. And we asked them to be careful. It is now up to them to decide, and hopefully they will not put us in a position where we'll have to decide or betray our people. Well, we will see how it goes. But that is a story for tomorrow. Right now, it is time for me to go to bed. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. And let me make one thing clear. Starting right now, my DMs are closed. I am not receiving anything. Whoever messages me, you will be met with lots of hostilities. So keep that in mind. No tagging, no DMing. You will not be welcome interacting with me with in any way. For this day only. I am not your friend, I am your enemy. And it's better to stay out of my way. This was my last warning. So go fuck yourself and get a life. Because I am going to sleep. But before I do, we are raiding Mr. Scrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. Why is John insulting? Well, what else is new be fun? You going fishing tomorrow? Very nice, Wasoda. Enjoy it. No more DMs about big ass fountains to panic and stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm 33 today, so go fuck yourself. Bye.